Hey, greetings, Cornerstone Community Church. My name is Sean Powers, and I am a pastor at Redemption Hill Church in Des Moines, Iowa. And I want to wish Cornerstone a happy 40th anniversary, 40 years of faithful ministry in the Twin Cities. A reason why I'm recording this video is because I think it is important to celebrate milestones. So why is it important to celebrate milestones, in my opinion? When you slow down to celebrate, you have the opportunity to reflect on the grace of God that has been at work through Cornerstone and through the saints of Cornerstone Community Church. Here is one evidence of God's grace. In 2018, Cornerstone sent 25-ish people, including kids. I can't remember the exact number, right around there. They sent us out to plant a church in Des Moines, Iowa. For me, I went back to a state. I've gone back to a state where I was born and raised. But for others, including my wife, they stepped out in faith to follow the calling of God. Here's what is crazy, or even more pointedly, more evidence of God's grace. We have defied all the church planting statistics. Everyone except one person is still a covenant member of Redemption Hill. So of that initial core team, everyone except one person is still a covenant member. Not only that, God has added to the church as he sees fit. Now, I want to go back to the mention of that one person who defected. On April 17th, 2021, I had the privilege to officiate the wedding of Brooks and Hannah Sevchek. The problem is Brooks took his beautiful wife to Minnesota. Now, I miss Brooks, and I'm not bitter. As a matter of fact, Brooks had asked me before moving back to Minnesota, what church should I be looking at when I moved back, and my only recommendation was Cornerstone. And I have no doubt that Brooks, Hannah, and their growing gaggle of kids is a blessing to Cornerstone. Now, back to the grace of God at work in Redemption Hill. When we planted in 2018, we did not expect governments to shut down parts of society in 2020. I have friends who were planning to plant churches but could not. I have friends who did plant a church, but they needed to cease their ministry because of what happened in 2020 and 2021. Again, the data suggests that we should have closed down the church at some point during that time. But by God's grace, we got through it all as a church family. To be frank, time does not allow me to recount all the evidences of God's grace during that time. But I can say without question that God was with us day after day and Sunday after Sunday. I would be remiss if I did not mention my gratitude toward Rick, Justin, and I already mentioned Brooks. All of them are dear friends. For 4 years, I was a pastor at Cornerstone, then called Sovereign Grace Church, and I learned so much from Rick. He became my dear friend, and I continue to look up to him from afar. Of course, I learned a lot from Rick when it comes to preaching. He's obviously a gifted preacher, and so I sat and was eager to learn from him during that season. But pastoring is more than preaching. It really is. And being a follower of Jesus Christ is more important than being a pastor. I say all that to say this. Rick constantly surrendered his life to the lordship of Jesus Christ. And that was a demonstration over and over again of his humility. And as one who was kind of growing into ministry and became a father at that time, I was looking to him and how he modeled his life. And so I just want to say thank you, Rick, for the way that you modeled Christ in your own life and you pursued humility. I had the privilege of being Justin's pastor when I was in the Twin Cities, and I can just say this unequivocally. There's not a man alive who has the integrity of Justin Lockmacher. Justin, if you are listening to this, I miss you, brother, and I'm so thankful for you. I already mentioned Brooks, but I want to say one more thing about his time in Iowa and then his transition to Minnesota. You know what I got to see in Brooks? I got to see a boy who became a godly man. And in a world where godly men are in short supply, I thank God for the grace that is at work in him. I really mean that. I want to end thanking God for the partnership between Cornerstone and Redemption Hill. Again, another evidence of God's grace. As I was thinking about what to say, it occurred to me that Rick, Justin, and Brooks have all preached at Redemption Hill at some point since we planted. Since moving to Iowa, I've been back to preach at Cornerstone. And honestly, as far as I'm concerned, Rick, Justin, and Brooks have a standing offer to come back to Iowa, and I would be thrilled to sit under their preaching of the Word of God. There are more people who are part of Cornerstone that I consider friends, and I just want to say that the Powers family, myself, Charisse, Chloe, and Izzy, we miss you all, and we're thankful for you. Now, may the Lord of mercy and grace bless the next 40 years of Cornerstone Community Church. Take care all. Bye.